SSM News Echoes Between the Lines is a lively conversation program on news updates every Monday at 8 p.m. UK time, 8 p.m. Nigerian time, and 9 p.m. Central European time, giving real-time updates as they affect Africans all over the globe.
Giving real-time updates as they affect Africans all over the globe. You're welcome to SSM Monday News Starters Between the Line. My name is Mark Godwin Niwejua, and I am here in Milan, Italy. Joining me from Lagos, Nigeria is my man, coordinator, Ogbeni Olayinka Raji. You're welcome to Between the Lines.
Good evening, Mark. Good evening, everyone around the world. I'm glad to be here again today.
Nice. We're glad to see you. So, Raji, before the program, we were discussing backstage, and Olympics is going on. The Olympic is going on. The Olympic is one very special time on planet Earth. But joining us to talk about more on Between the Line is our big man, Sir George Chukwu, Toronto, Canada. Sir George, welcome to Between the Lines.
Thank you so much, Amos Godwin, and then Olayinka Raji. Good day, and viewers from around the world. Welcome to our show today. It's going to be a great one.
Thank you very much. Yes, so gentlemen, the Olympic is going on. Special event, very important time. It marks a period when the world interrelate with each other. People interrelate through sports. And this year, like you all know, it's happening in Paris. So the Olympic Game Paris has taken place to be from 26th of this month to the 11th of August. And it started well. Is that intro, that opening ceremony that I want us to talk about, gentlemen. Sir George, let me start with you. How did you see the Olympic opening ceremony? How will you rate that ceremony?
You know, to be very frank with you, I was busy this weekend. I didn't watch it, and I haven't watched it yet. Yes. So I can't tell you much about that. And but the news that I have heard that it was a little above average. That's what I heard. But as for me, I did not watch it.
Okay, you did not. So you're not a spot man. Anyway, George, the event introduced something very strange. Raji, let's hear from you. You were saying something earlier. What did you observe?
Is the depiction of the Last Supper. How the Last Supper became part of Olympics still baffles me. But then even the presentation was entirely and completely disgusting. Depicting the Last Supper of Christ and his disciples as an LGBTQ event was very, very distasteful. And I think the church should stand up against such a bastardization of their creed, of their faith. I don't think that any world body could dare depict anything Islamic that disgustingly. So it seems as if my Christian brothers are not defending their faith enough, or are taking their faith so much for granted that anybody now can do whatever he likes with any depiction of Christ and his apostles, especially the very, very important Last Supper. It is disgusting.
It's disgusting,
to say the very least.
Yes, I will follow in that line with you, George. Also, what I would say is, I think the French government, France, is using this opportunity to present a new kind of identity of France, because there was nothing that you can relate with the Last Supper and a sporting event.
And sports.
I mean, it has no correlation. So why use this opportunity to not only depict the Lord's Supper in a very, very gory way, but also forgetting that it's a world event where families are watching, little kids are watching, and we had men on pants, underwear, jumping up and down, women opening up their body, and it had no connection at all. The two sides, all of that, George. So this is what happened on Friday evening.
I read that. I saw that thing, and it was shown to me, and that's part of the reason why I did not even care about going to watch the ceremony itself. You see, it tells you the degree and the level of depravity that we have come into. There is no more respect for anything that is worthwhile. And this is so sad that in a nation like France, they will allow such a thing to take place. It talks about how the depth of despicable state we have come to. It just doesn't make any sense. And this is one of those things that Africa should come together and fight against. This notion that everything that is good for the goose is good for the gander, when it comes to some of these abominable acts that is happening around the world today, Africa must stand strong and say, you cannot cross my land to bring that abominable act in my state or in my surrounding. We are not for it, and we cannot stand for it. It's about time for us to rise up, like what my brother Olayinka Raju was saying, that it is about time for the condemnation of such I don't even know words to describe it. Public display with these people compared to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
Yes, you can see
that.
You can see there, George. It's playing in the on the screen. So what they did
is so sad.
Different category of the LGBTQ people. A fat woman representing their Jesus, a little boy, an old man representing Peter. They just mixed it up. But let's say this also, George. Somehow, even though that event and that graphics has come to represent the Lord's Supper and the Last Supper, whatever we call it. But George, it doesn't really, it has nothing to do with the real Lord's Supper. I mean, none of us alive today witnessed that. So they can't give a graphic representation of that. What do you say?
The point is this. When those pictures represent something that is that sacred to a group of people, it should not be allowed to be desecrated that way. I am quite sure when Christ was here on earth, they called him all kinds of names. They called him the devil. You are of the devil. There was nothing they did not call him while he was here on earth. But he never fought back with anybody. But up until today, he's not fighting back with anybody. But when you sow a seed that is such, it's going to your future to wait for you, because it's not him that will punish you. What you did will bring a curse upon that individual. So it's so sad, but in words cannot even express how sad this stuff is. That in a world that we live today, there is no absolutes, nothing moral anymore have any respect.
Gentlemen, coupled with the very not too pleasant opening ceremony, also the news we're getting this morning is the Olympic events on the total arrangement is not playing out well. Athletes are moving out of the camps and hotels, hostels that they were prepared for, that they were given by the Olympic, the committee, the France Olympic Committee. But they are complaining because what France did was they termed this green, eco green Olympic events. So everything is green aligned and all that. But it's not playing well, like we heard. They said the rooms, the beds are made of paper, so athletes are not sleeping and having real good comfort sleeping. People are jammed up in 10 women in one room, one big mall, and giving one toilet space. So a lot of things are happening from that event also. So it's not going as planned. And these facilities and all of these arrangements is a $1.6 billion euros arrangement. So we don't know how France will be taking this, but a lot of things are not going as planned. Raji, what will you say if it
We
happens?
said it before. We said before that France is actually a third world country in Gucci suits. So the facade is peeling off now. Facade is peeling off. France is a poor country. It's a poor country. So it's just showing, and it's going as planned. It's going as
Okay.
planned. That's why they planned, and that's why they're getting.
So, Sir George,
That's why
this
their
is the
money.
score. This is the score as at 3 hours ago. China is leading with more with nine medals there. So
Medals.
in total, yes. Japan has 7. South Korea has 7. America has 6. No, Australia has 6. America has 12. I
12.
don't know why
12.
America is not.
America is
Yeah.
leading in the number
Yes,
of medals.
but China is leading with the number of gold
Gold.
medals.
3 gold. 3 gold
Yes, yes.
medals.
So America is, but America has more medals in total. Then
America has
France,
3 gold medals too.
France has 8 of it. Then we have Italy, and we have Kazakhstan. They are doing well too. And so this is what we've gotten as a now. Viewers, you are seeing the score, the medal table for the Olympics game 2024 that will be taking place from now till August the 11th. So, Raji, do you think Nigeria will do some? I mean, there are some places we could come up to. Weightlifting used to be our own. What do you say, Raji?
I think our lady in Amusa in hurdles will make us proud.
Yes.
We
That's what
used
I
to have a
believe
very
too.
strong team, 4x100 team, very very strong. But I think we have been going down consistently for too long. We used to have a very good 4x100 meter relay team. Yes.
Okay. Thank you, guys. Viewers, you are tuned into SSM Monday Between the Lines. So, gentlemen, let's come to a major news. Last Friday, we were just talking about Emmanuel Iweyan, the prominent Igbo businessman and politician, and we did our tributes in our little way. Then we slept and woke up 2 days later, and behold, another prominent southeastern Nigerian politician and businessman passed away. George, let me start with you. Senator Ifeanyi Uba died in London. How did you take that?
That was a very disturbing news, actually. Very young man, vibrant indeed, very successful from his younger age, and made tremendous impact both in the business world and in the political field. He's a lover of soccer. He has his own soccer team. So many achievements in his life, actually, in this short period. Actually, in a few years ago, during the Jonathan re-election bid, the Democrats were doing nothing. They didn't know their left from their right. It was Ifeanyi Uba who, through TAN, Transformation Ambassadors of Nigeria, who took over that campaign and almost brought down APC, during that time until the election went the other way. But it is a great loss. He's a good friend. Work with him very closely during the election period. I was so sad to hear that news. Very, very heart-wrenching.
Yeah, that news.
A great
Raji,
man for shots.
we were just recovering from Iweyan. Viewers, you can see both men in the picture there. Iweyan is the one in front. We were recovering from the death of Iweyan, and boom, another man from the southeast. How do you see this?
First, my condolences to the family. I actually didn't realize that he was that young. 52.
Very young.
Yes. And he has done a lot of things. And also, according to AMCON, he has a lot of debts on his head. And it's surprising. Within that short period, Man, my condolences to the family. It's the end of an era for him. Yes.
So what do you know about debt? What
Oh,
do you know?
he has a subsistent case with a Gutierrez guy, Maduka, and that matter now. Is gone with him. He's gone. There were a lot of Amcon was after him for huge amount of debt. All that time, I thought he was probably over 60. I didn't know he was even under just above just 40 then. He moved a lot. He moved.
He moved
Yes.
very strong. George worked
Mm.
with him. I know George
Yes.
had a lot of time with him. So
Yeah.
sad story. Now
Yeah.
we are left with his children would now have to navigate their
As
way through.
as a matter of fact, he
Mhm.
went to London for his son's graduation,
Yes.
and then
Yes.
kind of complications took place, and it's such a sad story. He didn't make it back, alive. So my
Mm.
sincere condolences to the family, the wife, and the children.
The family.
Very strong man. We lost a lion among us, honestly. If I ever was a lion, and a true lion for real, fearless. He was fearless. When you're around him, you will know. He assumes that of authoritative power around him. He was a great man.
Mm.
Was a really great man. May his soul rest in perfect
Yes.
peace.
Thank you, George.
Yeah, I
Yes.
did that to him now. Yes.
Okay. So viewers, Ifeanyi Oba, the Nigerian senator representing this Anambra Southeast and a businessman, passed on Friday in London. Okay, gentlemen, let's move on. There's so much to cover. We'll be there is this story that we have. I think it is Rajit also will be able to. There's a ranking company. There's a company called Hali Passport Index. They rank people's passport, countries' passports, and they just ranked our passport at number 92. 92. Nigerian passport is ranked as number 92, viewers. So what that means is they said we fell from, it used to be 62 before, as in 2006. Then we went up to, I think, 97 in 2023. In 2024, we are now ranked as 92. So we came 5 steps up, but it's still not doing well at 92. Nigerian passport. Let's hear from George. George, your passport, our passport, I know you probably have dual one, has been ranked 92 in the global ranking scale. What's your take on this?
Well, I think the ranking comes from the respect that a country gives itself. If a country insults itself and brings itself down to the ground and refuses to rise up, they will keep on being ranked in the triple digits instead of 2. So it's very sad, though. It's very sad. We're laughing over these things, but these are things that are changeable. When we concentrate, yes, these are, the subject, they can be changed. Because, for us to allow ourselves to be, come, in the sight of the world, the image is so messed up. It's so sad. We need a leader, a visionary leader, who will take Nigeria as a whole, as a one unit, and begin to bring the image of this country back to where it's supposed to be. To say that you are in every factor shows how great this nation is, with the exception of how we have allowed it to just put, I don't know what I will call it, in the presence of the world. But it can be changed very quickly if attention is given to it specifically and programs are tailored to, look at small Ghana. When you talk about the world today about safety, and everything else, Ghana comes way before Nigeria. When you talk about, a country to visit in Africa,
You talk
You
about
know,
Ghana.
by the time they go Uganda, Kenya, and all those areas, they're talking about, Ghana
That's true.
before, way before even think about Nigeria. And when Nigeria is mentioned around the people, the warning will come first before anything else. Oh, be careful when you are going there for such and such and such. Ought not to be so.
This one you said is very true. Raji will attest to that. Raji, but how come they treat us like this when in Africa we have more passengers moving around the world? I mean, with our number,
You see,
you go ahead.
as individuals, Nigerians have a lot of people have a lot of respect for Nigerians as individuals. But as a
Okay.
country, they are amazed that a country like this, why is it that the people out of this country are so somehow so superior to almost everything that they know? But when you take the whole country as a whole, you are shocked that how can a country be so produce so many good people and be itself so badly led? In every sphere of life abroad, you find awesome, amazing Nigerians in very, very high positions. But then you come to this country, it seems to me that most of our good talents have left the country. And then what is left of the country is just a shell that has no respect, starting from our leadership. Starting from our leadership. Our leadership in the past in the past 20 years, we've had very, very bad leaders. Maybe during the time of Obasanjo, there was some hope, and that the country's image was elevated somehow. But right after Yaradua, the country as a whole, our green passport has lost a lot of respect. It depends on the way we have mismanaged our economy, the way we have mismanaged our leadership, the way we have messed up all the good things that we have that should make us very, very great. And the way that we go to borrow money and then spend it on extravagant things.
One of the criteria that is being checked for such a thing is visa-free access. Presently, Nigeria doesn't have much visa-free access. Many countries don't allow us to come without visa. You must come with a visa, So that reduces, yes. But still, I said, George, earlier, I said, we have the bulk of passengers moving around the world when it comes to Africa, when it comes to the black man. So what would a consideration, a kind of leniency, and make our passport a little bit of value? Wouldn't that be a good idea, considering what Raji have said and what I've said too?
It would be a great idea. But like I was saying before, implementation of ideas in order to tailor it towards something is subjective. But what happens a lot is that we don't even pay attention to all of those. While we are still complaining about corruption in our country, we are seeing corruption even in children, because this thing has passed down the bloodline to even kids now. It's all about money. It's not how you get it. It's not, it's just about if you have that money, you become a lord. It didn't used to be that way. People with education, high education, were the ones that were being respected in the past. And it's no longer so now. Everybody want to grab it yesterday. And the resulting consequence is people are willing to do whatever that it takes in order to become that lord, because he got money. It's no longer whether I stole to get it, or I use 419 to get it, or rob the bank to get it, or kidnap to get it. As long as you have money, you're a lord. And the reason why that is happening in our country today is the division between the leaders and the people. Because if you want to get rich, you go into the government. And the people are suffering every day, and they have no clue whatsoever what the solutions are to that particular problem, because they have been blinded with their own corruption. As long as their pockets are full and overflowing, they don't care what is happening. They will throw stipends on the air and let people kill themselves trying to, grab those little things, crumbs that are falling to the ground. So when we are able to bring closer the difference between the rich and the poor, and especially those in the government, when you can align it a little bit and bring a little equilibrium to it, that's when you will see that people will get back the value that is needed in things that are good rather than anything goes type of attitude. That's where we are today.
So, may I put in a point?
Yes,
here?
yes. Go ahead,
Now,
Raji.
you mentioned that we had the population, right? And in every population group, for instance, our population is about 200 million. That of Ghana is about 30 million. If 20% of Ghanaians are corrupt, are thieves, are whatever, it gets to less than 6 million. But if 20% of Nigerians are found to be deviants,
Corrupt.
criminals,
It's the whole country
that
of
is
Ghana.
40 million people.
What a
So you look at it. So it's actually the numbers that we have that is also
Sir George, Raji is bringing. I mean, the arithmetic aspect of it is a factor. So when you talk about it may be like a 10% or a 12% of the population in that crime, that's a huge number of people doing that thing.
Yes. Yes.
But
That's
you
the whole country.
Raji, what we're saying is this. The reason why we have no respect is because of all these things, because it shines out. In the past, you could hide all those things. The world would only hear what you tell them. But now it's different because facts are all over. When the sun shines, it shines upon the truth all over the place through the social media. So now we cannot even hide it anymore. And that is the reason why we must get back to business. The business of saving the image of our country. The business of equipping that everybody from childhood all the way to the top will have the adequate education that they need, and respect should be given to them with equalizing what is being, the top and the bottom. But bring it closer. That's where you see the middle class will thrive and Nigerian image will change again. And that will not be respected. Look at, do you know that if it wasn't because of Allen or Yema, how would you know the kind of atrocity being committed by these airlines in Nigeria? Even from Canada to London, they always give you specials for any European country, but never did Nigeria get any break from all these international airlines. And they ought to be punished for that, because it's been happening for many years. He was the only one who came out and showed that it was possible for these people to give Nigeria a little relief because of the population. But yet they were sucking out dry.
Yeah.
So sad.
Yet they were sucking us dry. Gentlemen, I like what we're discussing. Today's Between the Line is more, we are going the right angle between the lines. So viewers, Between the Lines, we're here. Let's take this small break. We'll be back. Thank you.
SSN News Echoes Between the Lines is a lively conversation program on news updates every Monday at 8 p.m. UK time, 8 p.m. Nigerian time, and 9 p.m. Central European time, giving real-time updates as they affect Africans all over the globe.
You're welcome. You're welcome back to Between the Lines. Raji, we got a message this morning direct from Nigeria, and that message is the US, United States, United Kingdom, Canada, all issuing security alerts to their citizens in Nigeria. This is in lieu to the protest against economic hardship that has been planned to hold from August the 1st. Do you think this is unnecessary panic being thrown to the to these individuals in Nigeria, or is there really going to be a protest that will affect things?
See, I'm surprised at Tinubu and his government. These protesters have given about 3-4 weeks notice of protest, of that they were going to protest because of the difficulties that the people in the country are facing. These difficulties are due to the flagrantly insensitive policies of the government. Now, I would have thought that a matured, decent government will go into history and see things. But look, let's see what is happening in Kenya. If the Kenyan protesters has given the Kenyan government notice, long notice of an impending protest, maybe the Kenyan government will have taken steps to prevent the protest. And the bills that they've now found to be obnoxious to them wouldn't have even gotten to parliament at all.
Okay.
With all this history and with the devastation and the destructions and the disruption that happened in Kenya, protesters in Nigeria has given the government so much time. If Tinubu was sensible and he was a real leader, real president of a real country, he will have taken steps to prevent it. Okay. Not to now start forming a special squad that is going to confront the protesters when they come to protest. You know what the protesters are demanding. Now you are now bringing up. You've now started fear mongering, ethnic profiling, and bringing the people, the suffering people, to clash against each other. Tinubu has been able to steer the whole country into what I describe as campaign mode. You know, what is happening now, happening during the campaigns. There's a reason why campaign periods are very, very short, because they are toxic. Campaign periods are toxic, and they tend to divide the country. After an election, the government is supposed to bring the country together as one. He's no more a candidate of the APC or PDP or whatever party. He's now the president of a united country. He's supposed to behave like a matured, sensible, responsible leader of a country, taking all the people together as one. But what Tinubu is doing is to divide the country. They have brought up videos of what happened during NSAS. They have brought up what all that is happening in Kenya. Instead of taking it as something to actually take, look, let us stay back. These guys have genuine reasons, except Tinubu believes that whatever he's doing is right. Unless that, and his ego is not allowing him to see beyond his nose that, look, you can't do with the rampaging gangster government that you did in Lagos and get away free with the whole country. And then most obnoxious is how they are dividing this country against each other. You can see how suffering people are now taking sides, and they are now ready to confront each other over this. And government has formed a squad of protesters that are going to come out and also protest against the people who are protesting against the government. That's madness.
George, are you hearing this? This is we're hearing.
How is any country respect our green passport?
Okay, George, Raji,
you see, yeah, I heard him loud and clear, and I echo his sentiments in this particular subject here. One of the major issues that we need to really address is, US and other countries and Canada, they are, bringing out warnings against their own, for their people to be, citizens, and it's Nigerian problem. It's the Nigerian government did not govern this particular situation the way it's supposed to be. Rather than trying to work with the people, they start working against them. And that is the one major problem that you will always have. They're already comparing everything that happened in Kenya and is happening in Uganda. That's what they bring back and say that our people are trying to do,
Okay.
regardless with any proof or without proof. Rather than working with the people, they are combating even that particular constitutional right of the people to go out there and vote, to
Okay.
go out there and protest. I'm sorry. So you see, the problem we have today is a government that actually they don't know what the questions are, but they're trying to give you answers.
Hmm.
It is time to get back to the table, to the drawing table. What is your vision for this country? How do you want to achieve it? Would it be with unity? Because there is no strength in number. There's only strength in unity.
Hmm.
So that's what the government needs to understand. Don't try to bring your daughter out there to come and tell people not to go and protest. That protest does not belong in Lagos. For what purpose are you doing that? Is Lagos State not also, are there not people suffering the same economic woeful stories in Lagos?
Lagos.
So, I mean, some of these things, and there are so many things that needs to be scrapped from the government. And when they stop it and able to caution their people, let your tone be the same unifying tone. Not every time, everything that happens, you fight against it. Everything that happens, you fight against it. When some of your cabinet members, when they are, asked questions, they start insulting people and using the insulting language. This is what they have, how depraved, the country has come to.
Come to.
Nobody, it's just
It's-
every time. Yeah, all of a sudden,
See,
they're planning to destroy properties. Where did you get those statistics from? You can't
how?
even get any single statistics about, Sambisa forest that has been there for the past how many. Boko Haram is there. You don't have any analytical statistics, but you do have on this one. Where did you get it from? Why is the military involved in this particular protest that is being planned?
Yes.
Yes.
A whole
That's
a
what I
whole
was saying.
squadron. A whole squadron is being
Yes.
built up. A whole squadron. And they have already voted 6 billion naira to combat
Can you
the protest.
imagine?
A protest that has not even
Mm.
started.
Can you
And you are
imagine?
dividing.
So,
If it's just
so
confronting the people, I would have been very happy. But you are dividing the people against themselves.
that's it.
That's not the way. That's not
That's
the
it.
way to govern a country.
That's what they're doing. Okay. We need to also be on the alert. But Raji, do you think the protest will hold? Do you see this
See,
protest holding?
if if
Mhm.
if 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 there were a great government and we don't have one, there will be no need for a protest. Because the
Okay.
protest, if it is not a, it is not, it is most unlike what happened in Kenya, which was spontaneous. This one has been given a long notice. It is even to the credit of those who want to protest that they have given government a long notice. Please, government, get your house in order. Get Because your success is our success. We don't need to protest if you are doing the right things. Now it has become a confrontation, a war. Now
Hmm.
Tinubu's ego is on the line,
It's on the line.
and there's nothing as bad as a as as
A
as
man's
as
ego being
a
bruised
as
up.
a person, especially a man who doesn't have sufficient confidence in himself, whose confidence is overblown. When he brings his ego on the line, he can bring out the whole house on himself. That's it.
Hmm.
And I'm praying for him that he had better humble himself before he's humbled, because
Yeah.
we are not interested in his failure. We are interested in his success,
We're not interested in his failure. We're interested in his
because his
success.
success is our own success. He's our
Hmm.
president for today.
Hmm. Thank you very much. Gentlemen, viewers, you are listening to SSM Between the Lines, and we are saying it as it is. Gentlemen, here in Italy, Western Europe, West Europe, our Prime Minister, Giorgio Meloni, went and did something very interesting. She's realigning herself again, relaunching the country with China. Um,
Hmm.
Now it's why it's a little bit strange is Italy intentionally came out of that. There was that plan China had with the Belt and the Belt and the Road Initiative. Yes. So they came out of it. They said there was no importance of that to them. But now our prime minister is in China, and she's pledging allegiance with the Japanese government, and she's saying a lot of things. So why I'm bringing this up is will this alliance, this kind of alliance, obviously, is for economic growth and some other development. But if Italy is doing this with China, don't you think the relationship Africa has with China could also be enhanced instead of just coming to take something from Africa and go? I mean, why not we look into ways like Italy is doing now, ways of real strong collaboration, diplomatic ties, and all of this? So, gentlemen, what do you say about this compared to what China is doing in Africa?
Well, you have seen the relationship with Giorgia, the Prime Minister of Italy,
Meloni.
Change. Yeah. Meloni. Yeah. It's changed. Originally, she used to be an ardent opposition to China and anything. Yeah. She was fierce in the criticisms. But now, considering what the world is like today, it is good to, find peace. So this particular is a strategic visit, actually, for her to be able to, politics is a function of self-interest. When you really think about it, you don't have any permanent enemies or permanent friends when politics or diplomacy is concerned. So she's moving positively in the right direction, to embrace China, because China has something to give, but you have to be very careful when you're shaking hands with China, because when you're shaking hands with the one, underneath the hands, they're taking something else. So that's why a lot of people, look at many African countries are indebted to China today. No. Their strategy is different. They're using what you call diplomatic coup against many countries. And when you go back and find out the kind of deals that they're making with these countries, and they are actually mortgaging many of their resources and their assets, and China is owning them as we speak. And most of these countries today are indebted to them for many, many years
to come.
They will give you money with one hand. Okay. They will give you stringent conditions that that you cannot fulfill. But because the government changes, the current government will now put the country and mortgage that country to China, because they have enough solvency now to govern their people, rather than strategically trying to increase the internal revenue. They now reach out and grab from China. Now China will hold on to that contract. When they finally default on it, they become part owner of your country. That's it.
Yeah, I would rather go with China than with the IMF and the World Bank. Because the IMF and the World Bank come to you stealthily. With all good conditions, they will give you a loan that is for 30 years without paying anything. They'll start paying after 30 years. By that 30 years, that $1 billion loan they gave you is now 30 billion.
30 billion.
Okay. So I'd rather go with China than with IMF, and because China comes to you plain. Okay, this is what you have on the table, and you take it.
So, viewers, thank you very much.
And then they come with some development.
They come with some development.
IMF, World Bank does not come with any development for you.
Yes, indeed. Viewers, that's it.
What is trusting you that they will give you the money to develop your own, rather than coming with development and then making sure that you default, so that they will take portion of your country and hold it hostage. So that's a different thing.
They are coming to Canada too. In fact, they said last time we were saying it here, how they also have police stations in Canada. So that means they're penetrating.
But Canada will not allow them. They already internally dismantled almost everything that is going on. We don't make too much noise. We don't negotiate that much. We just take over. That's Canada for you.
That's Canada for you. Viewers, this is it. Italy has relaunched back to the Belt and Road Initiative China uses in having diplomatic relationship with countries around the world. Africa, number one. Now Italy has joined. So let's see what comes out of that. The woman said it's a progressive diplomatic move, and let's see how that proceeds. Gentlemen, let's come also to a news making strong round far away in South America. South America, there's the election has just gone in Venezuela, and Maduro. I know you guys all know Maduro. Maduro used to be the president in 2023, but they kicked him out. But he has come back again. So Venezuela presidential election on Sunday and Saturday has Maduro winning as the president again. This means a lot. But Raji, what do you know about Maduro? What do you know about the new tenor he's coming in to play?
I don't know too much about him, but I believe that I hope that he will do good for Venezuela. Venezuela has one of the highest deposits of crude, and yet the economy is in such shambles. I don't know whether they are not selling their crude or whatever is happening to it. But I don't think that they should be in such dire straits with all the deposits that they have. Now, I wish the new president, unless the meddlesomeness of the U.S. in the economies of all these countries, just to make sure that they don't rise. I hope they'll be able to overcome it and do something for their people.
George, Venezuela is not far from you guys there.
Yeah, it's not too far from us. Yes.
Yes. What we heard is that the polls were favoring his party, Maduro's party, but like Raji just said, Venezuela is not doing too well. That's a very rich country, oil-rich country in South America, but life for many people is terrible. George, do you think this man will change things, taking over from?
Well, the question is really, is he going to be able to? Now, he won the election with 51% of the votes after 80% was counted. The opposition is claiming that, that their candidate also, Edmundo Gonzalez, has 70% of the vote, Gonzalez. So now that is one of the main squabble that is there. But the question is whether is the national resources, is it going to continue to be private resources? Because that is the reason why it's happening this way. He's coming back again, but is he going to be able to continue with what actually happened during his tenure when people started crying out for change? Maybe they didn't see that change, or maybe whatever he had before, he was able to muscle himself in. Because if one party is saying that they have 70% of the votes and are claiming it, and somebody else is saying, I have 51% and you have 44. So we don't understand what is really going on. So, but we're standing and we're seeing, and part of the reason why Venezuela used to be one of the very good, attractive countries to visit before. It's because of leadership that is causing all these problems. The mayhem they are experiencing today is as a result of bad leadership. So you will see a country that have many resources and so much more money to help the whole masses. Look at Dubai, for example. How many oil wells does Dubai have? No, it's a desert land. But because they know how to manage their resources, their country today is the most attractive country to visit, even with all the weather conditions as bad as it might be, with people's skins melting on heat. But yet, it is an attractive country. Very, very attractive. And why? They are able to utilize their resources. You go to Dubai today, let me tell you, this is where you see the most current what do you call this car? Mercedes or a BMW. Most of their police vehicles are very expensive vehicles. Yes. You see it, you think it's just it's a police officer driving a Lamborghini. Not serious. No, I'm sitting with my eyes. So that's what we're saying. We really need to hope that this, when he comes back again, sitting on the sideline for a little bit, might have looked in and seen the mistakes that the current government has made and what mistakes he made in the past before he was ousted by this current government. Maybe he can change and let the people enjoy. My goodness, this disparity is so much. It is really, really hurting many countries.
Thank you very much, George. So yes, viewers, that's it. We're still, I think the final result will be announced probably today or tomorrow, because it's still partial result, but Maduro, it looks like he will eventually take the lead. Let's move on to, let's begin to wrap it up. There's a story on Okonkwo and Peter Obi. Now, Okonkwo, the man you see there, Kenneth Okonkwo, shifted from his previous party, APC, came to LP. But yesterday, he went on air and really said a lot. He said Peter Obi doesn't have leadership skill. Peter Obi can't do this. On top of all he said, Peter Obi reaffirms his own trusted relationship with Kenneth Okonkwo. So this is strange. So what we're looking at is a situation of party scheming, party division, and some people take it beyond. Raji, what do you say? LP and all of these, they are different.
It is in situations like this that you get to know the character of a man. Character of a man. You know, I like the way that Peter B is responding to him by thinking, look, whatever happened between us, don't let us take it personal. It was a party thing. If you are no more interested in the Labour Party and you want to go back to your old vomit, please go peacefully. Do not disrupt the Labour Party, just to make yourself good. To your current masters, please. I'd expected Okonkwo to shut up, because maybe his expectations when he was going to LP were not met, and because his expectations were not met, he has lost by moving from APC. He didn't gain anything by going to LP. He's now behaving like a sore loser.
I don't think I will I don't think I will go that far. I won't go that far. You see, what is really happening, if you notice what has been happening, you see, there's been an internal influence into LP, because they were trying to find a way to disband LP when they had two factions before. Now, what this man Okonkwo wanted Peter Obi to do is to get in the mud and get tainted with all the mess that was going on. But if you see what Peter Obi has done, he separated himself a little bit as a leader, but yet never openly will discuss some of these things that are happening unless he's pushed against the wall. What he has been trying to do is to merge the two factions together, let them come together in one, rather than coming against each other, but refuses to come down to their level and get mud all over his body. He's staying right there on top. So now when a lot of things are happening and Peter Obi, you don't hear him come out openly and start making comments, Okonkwo gets frustrated. And then what he's really trying to do right now is to put himself, maybe as the future leader of LP. That's exactly what it is. So now what you see that the way that this man responded to him in such a mature or reasonable, objective way, that put him down now. Almost what he's doing is just almost like a reactive, just like a little child who is just throwing temper tantrum. That's what he was resulted to. Now he put him down that way. Calm down, little man. Because he is facing international opposition as you speak. I am telling you today, as we are here, Peter Obi's opposition is not only within Nigeria, it is international. there are many countries that would rather not see him come up and become the leader of Nigeria, because they know that things will change. And they will not be able to come into our country again and siphon our wealth the way they have done in the, for several decades. He will close all the loopholes. And locally, internally, the opposition against him are the ones who know that what he did when he stopped the bleeding that took place in Anambra, until they found a way to remove him and empty the coffer that he reserved, that he was building the city, the state with. So they know the kind of person he is. And I'm not saying this because he's an Igbo man. I am saying it because I personally know him, and I have worked, we grew up together. But I can tell you who he is today is what he has been from childhood. And that man, God had, yes, this is the way he's been. He has zero tolerance for compromise. And let me tell you something. He got strategy. And he knows what to do because he's highly educated and continues to get educated on a better way to govern our country and bring us out of this doldrum that we have been in. But they will not help him.
George has pulled the plug. Raji, this is strong. Yeah. So viewers, you've heard it. That's we analyzing P2B's stand and this strange the strange behavior of the lawyer Kenneth Okonkwo, movie actor and everything. Now this is it. We've come between the lines. We talked about Olympics. We talked about the very not too good opening ceremony. We talked about our very good friend from the southeast of Nigeria, F.N.A. Uba's death, and other things, Nigerian passport ranking, and now George has concluded it all. Raji, do you have anything to say? We want to pull the plug.
Nothing more than that. I hope the government will be reasonable enough and not turn this country upside down with their confrontation with those who are coming to protest on the 1st of August.
George?
Yes. No, finally, I think we have come to that place where we are obeying our constitution, but let the nation know and let the world know that the people that are planning this protest in Nigeria, that the question and the answers are all embedded in the lack of government that we have, or governing authorities we have that are doing fair things. So hunger is crying out, insecurity is crying out, a lot of things are crying out. Do not try to stop the people or bring opposition to them when they go out there to display their constitutional right by protesting against what has been going on in the past 16 years in that country. Walk with the people, don't walk against them. And don't go bringing this bad news all over the place that is making the world now think that we're about to go into a chaotic country. You are the one causing a government. Govern the people equitably, fairly, and justly, and stop this nonsense of being on the defensive all the time. Bring some answers to the people and appease them, and let them move on with their lives. Thank you.
Thank you, George. Thank you, Raji.
It is today, a liter of petrol is selling for over 1,000 naira.
And that's not.
It sells for everybody, both the government, both the APC or PDP or Labour Party person. So I don't see why the government is trying to divide the people against themselves.
The protest says the protesters say it's August 1st till we don't know. Let's watch. We are here to follow what's happening, give you back situation reports. And but we pray for peace, we pray for good governance and good life. On that note, I say have a beautiful week, guys, until we come again on Wednesday. Yes, thank you.
In a world where news flies around every minute, you need the ability to relate and connect with what matters and stay up to date. Schengen Story Media News Echoes program is Africans in diaspora and at home's leading English news network. One of the most trusted, respected sources for news updates on current affairs as they affect global Africa.